Looking back again at the sprinting, the quarterfinals, a second round with the riders on the track here. Again, unfortunately last night with that delayed performance that we couldn't bring you the action live, and on the track then Curt Harnett coming up to ride against Jens Fiedler. Harnett on the front, Fiedler behind. Russell, you, my co-commentator, have been watching this sprinting series like a kid who's been opened the door of a sweet shop and said, go in there and get what you want. We've seen some cracking sprinting. What about this man Harnett on the front?
Well, Curt Harnett from Thunder Bay, Canada is just running fantastically, you know, with the opening 200-meter time of 9.8. But the thing I think I've worked out is Jens Fiedler deliberately lost in the first round, because if he had won, he would have gone through to meet Marty Hubner. This way he meets Curt Harnett, but I think he's going to come unstuck here, because the way Curt Harnett's been, his preparation's been excellent. It seems like being here at altitude has not bothered him, and you know, they call him Thunder Thighs, and I must admit I've trained with him a lot, and obviously you get your favourites, but we'll just have to see what happens here. But just look at the way Fiedler, he's not giving him any room at all to Harnett. He's glued right on there. And remember, these two, they rided in Japan in the Keirins, earning mega money in the months of March and April. Then they've got to come back to Europe. They've got to do the Grand Prix, and then they've got to go off and do their specific training just for the World Championships. So Curt Harnett from Canada on the front, long blonde hair.
Well, the thing about Fiedler, of course, not only did he have to come back through the first round of the repechage, he got beaten in the second round again. In fact, he got disqualified and had to come back again. So he's been finding his way in and out repechage. He's probably ridden as much as anybody on the track, even coming back to that three-man sprint in the second round. Harnett on the front.
Here we go to the bell. Harnett's trying to lead out. Fiedler's trying to come over the top. This is great. Fiedler's going to come down, but Harnett's not going to let him. Harnett's using his speed. He's holding back. He's holding back. He's looking under his arms. He's on the red line. Fiedler's got to make a move now if he wants to come, but Harnett's putting the power on. Here comes Fiedler from Germany. He's going to be close to the line, but it looks like Thunder Thighs from Canada. Yes, there we go. That's why he did 9.8. He held off the ex-world champion Jens Fiedler of Germany. What a ride there by the Canadian. He's got it all right at the moment. And down the home straight, 40 miles an hour plus, must be 42.
Well, the Germans then looking very disconsolate about this one, because that meant that Harnett had beaten Fiedler. They had to go into the next round as such between the two to ride off. And here, Harnett taking that one. The other German riders had not made it, well, Hubner's got it through into the final, but one by one they've been dropping by the wayside. Van Eyden, their very up-and-coming young star, hadn't made it through to this particular point. So the next series, Darryn Hill versus Marty Nothstein, then Gary Neiwand versus Michael Hubner, and Frederic Magne versus Moreno on the cards. There's some cracking sprinting, the crowd waiting with bated breath for the next one to come up, and Fiedler unfortunately showing, I think, the fact that he had to fight his way back through those repechages, and it had its effect. Marty Nothstein, another man who had not had everything all his own way in the rounds, because in qualifying Nothstein was only 11th fastest, and coming up in this ride off here in the quarterfinals, he was up against one of the fastest men on the track, Darryn Hill. Darryn Hill in qualifying had done 9.926. He was the second fastest qualifier, and so it meant that Nothstein, after that injury, had really got to work hard in this quarterfinal.
Yeah, Marty Nothstein's had a terrible year. He crashed early in the year back in January, breaking the collarbone. Then he got better, came over to Manchester and won some big races. And then he was going well during the summer, and then 4 weeks before he came here to Colombia, again he crashed and badly injured his knee. But he got everything together, you know, got the ice packs and got the treatment from the physio. He's come to the World Championships. He's rode the Keirin, that didn't go too well. He finished 5th place, and now he's got it all to do against Darryn Hill. He's had a great year. Darryn Hill was in Australia, coming from Australia, was in Japan earlier in the year, earning mega money again, March and April. He's had a good summer. I believe he was up in the medals in the World Cup down in Adelaide. So it's going to be an uphill battle, even though Marty Nothstein is the present world champion. It's going to be difficult. So Marty leads off, and he's got to do one lap at walking pace. So Marty leads off, already looking over his right shoulder. Darryn Hill straight down.
Well, Marty Nothstein also had to work his way back through from the 8th finals, because in the 8th finals he got beaten by Curt Harnett, and he came up against Russo and Swift in the repechage. He fought his way through that. So as with Jens Fiedler, who had to get through that repechage in the 8th final, Fiedler always came in back through the back door in the first of the quarterfinals, getting beaten by Curt Harnett. And so Nothstein here was having come through a similar route of the repechages, had his speed somewhat blunted, but you can never tell. He's the reigning world champion. He's been getting better and better throughout the whole of the series, and the man just behind him, Darryn Hill, finished 2nd last year in the World Championships. Michael Nothstein running out Victor Michael Hubner. who's riding in the next heat, was the bronze medalist last year.
So Darryn Hill from Australia in the back, just out of saddle slowly, just starting to stretch his legs. He's got Marty Nothstein just where he wants him, just in front of him. Marty's got it all to do. Remember, he's coming back from this knee injury. It's not the best preparation you could have for crashing at 40 miles an hour. So Marty's right in the middle of the track. He's trying to keep it easy, looking over his shoulder. Darryn Hill's cool and collect. Just got the big, deep stare, getting closer and closer. Remember, all the action usually happens just after the bell. And Marty's his usual tactics, the way he won the World Championships last year when he had super condition, was just to lead out from the front when he heard the bell and just go as hard as he can. And he blew everybody off his wheel. But I think he's going to have a lot of trouble with Darryn Hill because he's had a fantastic year. They're coming round there, they're going to hear the bell any time. So Marty Nothstein on the front from the USA. Darryn Hill starting to wiggle around, he's starting to play. Marty's got to be careful. As we go to black and white, back to colour again. So Marty Nothstein on the front, started to pick it up. This is what he did last year to win the World Championship. This is just a quarter-final. He's got the big Aussie Darryn Hill on his wheel, though. Darren's starting to come. Here's the bell, 3:33 to go. Marty's got it all to do. He's looking, he's got to go. Oh, what a move! Darryn Hill's gone underneath him. This is great. Marty's in trouble now. He won't get back over that. What a bad move there by Marty. Let him go underneath. Darryn Hill starting to pick it up. This is the way.
So down into finishing straight, Nothstein the champion, going after the silver medalist, couldn't do it on the line. It went to Hill, a superb, well-judged ride, and ducking down like that, that was comic book stuff, and exactly, if anybody's out there watching sprinting wants to know what it's all about, that's the way to fox the man in front. And Darryn Hill, this rider who back as a junior in 1991 took a bronze medal, showing the fact that he's come through this amazing school of Australian track sprinters who've been year in, year out producing the Brill McCoy, and those tactics, the rough and tumble of sprinting, showing he's learnt, and he's learnt well, as here he powers away from Nothstein, who was completely caught by surprise.
Well, that's really unusual to see a world champion like that make a silly mistake. He just hesitated for a moment, and as you can see in the picture, Darryn Hill went underneath him, and that was only, what, 2:20 minutes to go. It was too late by then, and Darryn Hill of Australia crosses the line, and what a happy man he must be, beating last year's world champion. Even though Marty's had knee problems, to beat a world champion, you feel absolutely wonderful. This is a great night of racing here.
Coming up then to the third of the rounds in the quarter-final. Neiwand against Michael Hubner, and these two at one time were great friends, and the big falling out after Hammer in 1993. And if any of you saw that program then, if looks could kill, the look that Hubner gave Neiwand was just something else. It was so woof, you could feel it, the look. So these two, it's really going to be a bit of a revenge match here. Hubner taking the third spot last year in the World Sprint Championship. He was second the year when Neiwand beat him, and he's got more gold and silver medals and bronze than anybody else on the track, but now he's got to try and get his own back.
Yeah, I think what happened there was back in 93 was Michael Hubner was obviously top of the pile, and he actually invited Gary Neiwand to come to Germany to train with him for a couple of months, and obviously Michael thought by him coming to train it would actually help Michaal improve. But what happened was Gary improved just 110% and went on to win the world title in Hammer in Norway, and Michael wasn't at all happy about that. But since then, Gary Neiwand's moved on to become world champion last year, so it's going to be hard. This is going to be really difficult, but I think tactically, Michael...
He did before last year world champion. Last year he didn't ride for something.
Oh, that's right.
I think he did his knee or something. I can't remember what happened to Neiwand last year. But he won the one in Hammer when he beat Hubner. And,
oh, that's right. He didn't start last year.
Didn't. Something happened. I think his knee went or something. But at the 11th hour he's supposed to ride, and then that was it. I can't remember the actual facts now. I have to go back to my records and my hazy memory. Go on.
1,000 apologies, sir.
Yeah,
so on the front there is Gary Neiwand of Australia. And behind, of course, Michael Hubner, the Man Mountain, the man who actually belongs to the Beck Cycling Club in South London.
So can Michael Hubner do one better than Jens Fiedler, his countryman, who's one down on Curt Harnett in the quarterfinals? Unlike the sudden death that happens in the previous rounds, you have the first, second round, and then going on into the eighth finals, all the way through the repechage till we get to quarterfinals, and then it's the best of two rounds with the winners going through into the semi-final.
So Gary Neiwand on Australia on the front, looks like he's trying to keep the speed up, because the trouble is if Michael Hubner starts leaning on him, he's going to be in all sorts of trouble. So Neiwand looks like he's going for a fast one. Hubner's got to be careful here. Neiwand dives down, he's got a bell to go. Neiwand's starting to pick it up. They're coming down. Oh, Hubner's gone underneath him. This is great. He's going to push him up. Oh, now he's going to be trouble. Hubner's got to go all for it now. Can Neiwand close the gap? It's all looking...
Well, he's been shaken by that one, has Neiwand, and he closes back on Hubner. Hubner's still snaking all over the track, twisting and trying to start him off his back wheel, and Neiwand puts his head down, he takes him up again against the banking, but he looks like he got it. Those two, there's no love between. Look, even going round now, he's flicking him and he's finished. He's just whooping him. This is tremendous stuff, and even after they finished, they were still, look at this though, Neiwand said, I've got it, and Hubner doesn't look very happy at all. The whole of the track is buzzing with this sprinting. It's undoubtedly the stuff that packs the field, and there he goes, thumbs up. That was real abrasive stuff all the way round. That's superb. I should think if you record that one and show it to track sprinters, that's again got to be how almost it shouldn't be done. They were so close to being illegal.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Hubner made such a great move just inside with a lap to go. He dived inside Gary Neiwand. He ended up having at least 10 metres. Neiwand had to come back. Now look at this. Neiwand's coming back at him. Hubner's flicking him the whole time. Now Neiwand's turning the power on. He's turning the power. Hubner's coming out again, moving out, trying to move it. Look at Neiwand. He's looking at him, and in a minute he's going to give him the finger and just say, forget it, mate. I'm the Aussie. I'm number one. Look at him. Look at him. We're doing 42, 43, 44 miles an hour. And look at Neiwand. Just looking at him to say, hey, you're finished, mate. You're too old.
Oh, isn't that...
Now look, this is the move. Look, what a great move tactically. Hubner's dived underneath him. Now Neiwand's trying to come down. It's like trying to come down on the bus. He actually bounces off him. Hubner comes underneath. It's all legal stuff. Then Neiwand's come down. Boom. He's on him there. He's trying to knock Man Mountain off. Hubner comes back up onto the track. Neiwand's in all sorts of trouble. Look, it pushes him all the way up the track. So Neiwand's got to dive down yet again. Look at them both dive. Look at them. Look at them.
This is at 45 miles an hour, by the way.
Look how sharply they're turning. Those little tyres, those little rubber tyres are holding on. Let's watch it again. So Neiwand's looking at him. He thinks he's going to come over the top. Hubner's there, and all of a sudden Hubner accelerates. Look, whoa, straight down on the inside, Man Mountain. Then Neiwand comes down. Look, trying to push him. Look, he tries a little bit, and Hubner says, "Forget it, mate." Bounce straight. Oh, this is great. This is great. What a ride! What a ride! Gary Neiwand must be on a high now, through to the semi-final.
No.
Oh, sorry, it's a quarter-final. Oh, two rides.
This is two rides, you see, because all the previous rounds, they had the repecharges for the beaten ones to come back into the pot. But right now, in the quarter-final, it's best of two. It's an odd way of doing it now. In the old days, we used to have best of three, didn't we? And you've got two straight rounds, that was it. But in the new system now, they have the first round, and those who get eliminated, one man against one man, those get eliminated, go to the repecharge and come back, then repecharge round two, and then repecharge and so on. But right now, you've got two opportunities, in fact three opportunities. You can go to the third round if necessary. So Jens Fiedler would come back against Curt Harnett, Marty Nothstein against Darryn Hill, and Michael Hubner against Gary Neiwand as well.
So this should be good. This is Moreno, former kilometre champion at the Olympic Games in '94, against Frederic Magne, who's already a few days ago is the world keirin champion. So could he possibly make it a double title? So Moreno, his best tactics, he likes to go for long ones. Just listen to the crowd. It's like a football game. They're really getting behind him. So it's Moreno on the front. Frederic Magne from France is just cruising back following him. Can it be as fast as the race we've just seen? Now, obviously, Frederic Magne knows the tactics of Moreno. So Moreno on the front, just looking over his shoulder. The crowd are going bananas here. And look how close Magne is to him now. He's not letting him go anywhere. He knows that Moreno on the front of Spanish likes to go for a long one. When I say a long one, that's probably about 2 laps out. Remember, the track is 333 metres. Banking's 45 degrees. So Moreno's dived down a little bit, looking over his right shoulder now. The speed's picking up. Frederic Magne's not letting him go anywhere. He's riding so close now.
Magne, of course, the keirin sprint champion who came from nowhere. He's got a superb turn of speed, and with the man up in front of Moreno, who's the world kilometre ex-world champion and reigning world Olympic kilometre champion, as far as Magne's concerned, he could go quickly. He's held his man off. He didn't want him to go for a long one. He's got him where he just wants to be, up against the boards. So Magne's holding the man high and higher and higher, and he kind of gummed down. He's done it. He just made a move, and the Spaniard now certainly has lost that one. He just couldn't hold Magne, who did a wonderful move there. He kicked back a little bit, the Spaniard, who should perhaps gone a bit further out using his enormous kilometre speed, but it wasn't to be quite that, so Magne went on through to take that one.
What a great ride there by Frederic Magne. Tactically, it was fantastic.
And then Magne beating Moreno.